Okay, this is a video on the DecimalFormat class. What we're going to use is we're going to do the adoption cost, use the adoption cost file from chapter 2F, I think, and we're going to show how the decimal format works. So if you want to do that, follow along with your copy of adoption cost. That'd be great. You don't have to, but here we go. Decimal format. Somewhere in your notes, somewhere, you need to write down this. And I'll just type it up here. The decimal format class. And if you look at the name, you can tell what it does. It says decimal format. Well, so what does it do? It formats decimals in the output. That's where it's important. Doesn't matter what it looks like in the memory location, but once you display a decimal, you want the output to be appropriate to what you're doing, for what you're using it for. And so that's going to be important. Now, the decimal format class is available to us as programmers in the Java library. And so what we need to do is we need to import that class from the Java library like we did the scanner class, which we can see on here on line 7. And so we're going to write import just like any other import statement's going to say, or start, and it's going to go java.text.decimalFormat class, and that's in semicolon. And notice that the D is capitalized because it's the name of a class and we capitalize class names. Notice also we can put a couple of import statements together. We have a blank line above them and a blank line below them, and that's good vertical space. Now the other thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to be able to write a declaration of the decimal format object. And so if you remember that when we had the scanner class, we created an object. In this case we named it scan. Mrs. Wyman has her class call it in, so you can call it whatever name you want. And so this is an object of the scanner class, and so it's like a store having a bunch of scanners, and each one has its own name. And a customer comes in, picks up a scanner, and they can go scan their barcodes on the groceries that they buy. And so this is the same idea. We're going to have now a decimal format object. In fact, you could have more than one decimal format object in the same class. And so what we're doing is we're going to go decimal format, just like the beginning of the scanner object. It starts with the class name, and then we're going to give it the name. The name is DF in this case. That's what we're going to use. The reason I like DF is because it's short, only 2 letters, and D and F stand for decimal format, so it makes it really easy. And then we have new, just like the scanner class object, and then the name of the class again. Alright, so we're doing the same idea. Now what goes inside these parentheses is going to be the difference. And so what we do here is we're going to start with quotation marks. And what we're going to do is and you know what, before I do this, I got to show you one thing. I meant to do this. I want to show you the reason why we need this class. And so here's the adoption cost. And if we first of all do a compile and then we run it, let's take a look at what happens. Enter the name of the dog, Buddy. Alright, and then the weight of the dog, let's say, is 21.3 pounds. And then so it says the total cost to adopt Buddy is 83.049999. So you see how ugly, I call this an ugly decimal. This is why we need the decimal format class. How are you supposed to make this so it just says $83.04 or 5 cents or whatever? And so this is why we need this decimal format class. So let's go back up here, and in here, in this particular case, we want to format. We know that we're going to use a decimal for money, and so we're going to set this up to format decimals as money. This isn't what you'll always do. It depends on your situation. Maybe you want 4 decimals and no dollar signs. You know, it just depends. However, you can do you can set it up however you would like. And so in here, because we're doing it as money, we're going to put the dollar sign, and then we're going to put we can put a hashtag or a number symbol or a 0. It really doesn't matter. And then we can put a decimal point, and then we want 2 decimal places, so we put 2 zeros in there. Then we finish it off with the quotation marks and the parenthesis and semicolon. Alright, so there we have the declaration of the decimal format object. And so, let's see. I needed to pause here, but I can't find my thing to pause. Okay, so I'm back from pausing the video, and I hope that I am coming back in the right spot. So I think that all we have left to do is, now that we've got the decimal format object, now we only have to do one more thing. And let's go down here. We know that total cost is the thing that produced the 83.044499, all that stuff. So this is the storage location that has the ugly decimal stored in it. So right here, total cost is declared and named, and then this calculation takes place, and that result is stored in this memory location. And it's got, and if you know, it's going to be depending on what you type in for the weight of the dog. And so in this case with 21.3, it was this ugly decimal. So here we go. This is all you got to do. All you got to do is you take the variable that has the ugly decimal and you put parentheses around it. And then we're going to apply the decimal format object by invoking its name, df, and then go dot format. So, I don't know if I did this right. So, if we take, let's pause it, my cats are fighting. Okay, my cats are not fighting anymore, hopefully, and so here we go. And so we take the name of the decimal format object and we invoke that name down here. So if you name it something else, that's what you have to put down here. So it's going to be df.format and then the name of the variable that is storing the ugly decimal. And then so what we do is we're going to run it again, and you'll see that it works, I hope. So here we go. We go compile and run it, and buddy, and then we'll do 21.3, the same thing. And now you see that it says $83.04, and notice it put the dollar sign in by itself.